Hello, my name is Jill Cleared. I'm an MVP for ASP.NET and a regional director. And today I'm sitting here with Daron Jondam, which is also a regional director. And we're going to talk about multi-touch in Silverlight. Now, Daron, can you perhaps explain to us what multi-touch exactly means?
So, normally we are used to interact with our PC with a keyboard and a mouse device. So sometimes we had some devices where we can touch with just one finger.
Okay.
So multi-touch means you can use multiple fingers and maybe multiple different people can use at the same moment the same screen in order to interact with the PC. So you got two or more fingers, you just need to get all the interaction through your fingers, so without the keyboard and mouse you can use your PC. So that's the way multi-touch provides us a different user experience actually.
It's a different user experience, indeed. And so you have been experimenting with multi-touch in Silverlight, is that correct?
Yeah, right.
So Silverlight supports multi-touch now?
Exactly, Silverlight 3.0 supports multi-touch. We got APIs we can use. So not only on normal WPF or Windows applications, you can experience multi-touch inside a browser, on the web as well.
Okay, so that's the reason to use multi-touch, to
exactly
build websites?
The Silverlight 3.0, IE 8, and Windows 7.
Okay, cool. And now I can expect there is some technical things that I need to do to support that in my Silverlight applications. Can you perhaps elaborate on that?
Exactly. We got an event called Touch Frame Reported in Silverlight. So the thing you need to do is to attach an event listener. When you attach an event listener, you got the touch frame event arguments you get. And from that arguments, we got two different methods. One of them is the get primary touch point.
Okay.
So if there is a primary touch point, you will be getting it, and you get the coordinates of the touch point. So if you have multiple touch points, there is another method you can call, which is get touch points. And the get touch point event will provide you a list of touch points, maybe two, maybe three. I guess today the hardware is supporting up to 10 touch points.
Okay.
So you just get all the coordinates and you will need to handle all the rest stuff. If you want to just, let's say, you scale an image according to two different touch points, you will need to calculate the distance between them. And again, calculate the distance, subtract it, see the difference, and transform the image or the video, whatever you got.
So it seems rather simple then.
Yeah, that's really simple actually. Yeah. A little bit of math, that's it.
That's a bit of math indeed. And is Silverlight limited perhaps in the amount of touch points that it can support, or is it...
So officially there is no such info we got, but I tried up to 6 touch points in a 12-inch screen. So this is not useful, of course, having six fingers on your laptop.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, with 6 touch points, I hadn't any problem.
Yeah, okay. So I've done quite some WPF already, and it's available in WPF as well. Is this the same implementation then, or is it a different implementation?
This is a little bit different because in WPF, the APIs are a little bit different. So you don't have a get primary touch point method. You just get all the touch points instantly, all the list of them. You again can get all the coordinates. So in WPF, additionally, we got an external assembly. You can just download over the internet. And in this assembly, you got a manipulation processor. So that manipulation processor actually does all the math stuff, the gesture APIs, etc. Unfortunately, in Silverlight, we don't have those at the moment, at least with Silverlight 3. So if you are handling multi-touch in Silverlight, you will need to do a little bit of math and handle off the coordinates on your own.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in WPF and Silverlight. But of course, in Silverlight, we got the web experience. That's a different thing.
Indeed, this is a different experience that we want to have. Now, I see you have a multi-touch monitor on your laptop.
Yeah.
I don't. Can I develop multi-touch applications for Silverlight already?
So, again, a tough question, but if you don't have any hardware, so at the moment we don't have any simulation software. So you will need an hardware. So, but by the way, the hardware, the multi-touch hardwares are not that much expensive. So if you go on the market and instead of buying a normal laptop, you choose to buy a multi-touch one, the price you will spend is actually the same. So that's not something we estimated actually. So you can go ahead and buy a multi-touch laptop in order to experience that. But if you don't have the hardware, the only suggestion maybe I can do is that there's a multi-point SDK on the web.
Okay.
So this multi-point SDK provides users to interact with different mouse devices on the same PC. So normally if you attach two different mouse devices to the same PC, you will be controlling the same cursor in Windows. This multi-point SDK provides you to access to USB devices, to USB mouses directly. So you can get different coordinates from two different mouses. So this is kind of the same experience like multi-touch. Of course, in multi-touch, there's a choice that the user can pull his finger off.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
That's
in
quite hard with
multi-point,
the
you
mouse.
don't have it, except you don't pull the cable of the mouse. So that's a little bit different. But in order to handle the math stuff, get different touch points on the screen, get different coordinates on the screen, maybe they can use the multi-point SDK to step into this different world.
Indeed.
But without doing it, without having the hardware, you will not have the chance to develop, even debug something maybe.
Because when you're doing Surface development, there is an SDK available. Perhaps you've tried it already?
In Surface SDK, there is a simulation environment.
Indeed.
But I guess the Surface SDK wasn't publicly distributed. Or
no, it isn't.
I don't know exactly, but
That's true. That's true.
if someday they distribute it publicly, in Surface SDK there is a simulation environment you can run on Windows 7.
Yeah, I've done some development for Surface, and there also I needed to attach several mouses to my PC to start enlarging images and stuff. So it's basically the same as you say with the multi-touch.
Yeah. Maybe we should point out the difference between Surface and multi-touch apps as well. So the only difference is actually in Surface you can just put a device on the table. Let's say the Surface is a table for at the moment for us. So when you put a device on it, Surface can detect the device.
Yes.
So the shape can scan actually the device.
Yeah, because there are cameras.
Yeah, exactly. There are three different cameras under the table.
Yeah.
So in multi-touch we don't have it, but except detecting objects, the story is the same. So already there are a lot of Surface apps ported to Windows 7.
Okay.
You can use on multi-touch screen. So the only difference is detecting devices on the Surface. That's it.
Okay. Now, perhaps a final question. You said in the beginning it's supported on Windows 7.
Yeah.
I don't have a Mac, but should I have a Mac, is this also supported? Because Silverlight is supposed to be available on the Mac as well. Does the multi-touch work?
Silverlight is available on the Mac,
but
the multi-touch APIs will not be working on Mac, at least for the moment, so at least for Silverlight 3. In order to get the touch points and provide this experience, you will need Windows 7, exactly. A Windows 7 laptop or any device you got. You will need to have the Windows 7 multi-touch drivers for the hardware you got.
Okay.
And you will need to use IE8 and a Silverlight.
So this is hardly bound to the Windows platform, indeed.
Yeah, that's the only environment. Maybe in the future they will be providing something like, because you know at Mac actually there is no device with multi-touch support at the moment. The only thing you get is the little touch pad.
Indeed.
Yeah, so you can get touch points on the touchpad. On the screen there is no device. So in the future when the devices are released, Silverlight will be supporting it. I don't know.
So it's basically a hardware issue that they do not support it because.
Exactly.
Any other things you want to share with us?
So for all the developers, I suggest them going and buying some multi-touch hardware.
Indeed.
So that's really very nice and fun to develop such apps, scaling out. Especially game development is very fun because let's say you have a 22-inch, 26-inch multi-touch big screen, and two people can play games on it. That's really fun.
Okay.
So just go ahead, buy a multi-touch laptop or a screen and develop it.
But also for business applications, I can imagine this can be useful.
Exactly. Actually, we got some business apps.
Okay.
All the examples we got at the moment are just line charts, some images. So
where you can
exactly. So let's say you got a line chart and you want to zoom into it.
Yeah.
Instead of using your mouse, you can just use your fingers. The most interesting example I saw was a list box full of products. And if you want to see some details about the products, you just go ahead and scale that list box item a little bit.
Oh, cool.
And the info just fills in. So that was a nice experience I didn't expect actually from a list box.
Yeah,
but in the future, I guess we will see more business apps providing multi-touch stuff.
Okay. I think we are at the end of this interview. I want to thank you for explaining me multi-touch, and I'm going to try it as well.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks.
Thanks.